In the infinite dark sea of space, beyond the last whisper of sunlight, a lone traveler drifts silently. It's not a spaceship crewed by astronauts, nor a probe on a return mission. It's Voyager 2, an old but persistent messenger launched by humanity nearly 5 decades ago. Most believed that once it crossed the boundary of our solar system, it became nothing more than a passive observer, quietly whispering data back from the edge of the void. But now, something has changed. Voyager 2 has seen something that was never supposed to move. Something that shouldn't be there. For years, its journey through the interstellar medium had been uneventful. Just particles, magnetic fields, and the endless hush of cosmic silence. Until that silence broke. Until motion, deliberate, unmistakable motion, was caught drifting through the darkness. Movement with intent. When scientists at NASA decoded the anomalies transmitted from Voyager 2, a chilling realization began to settle. What we feared deep down, what we always speculated, might actually be true. Voyager 2 had long left behind the planets, past Neptune, past Pluto, beyond the heliopause, where the sun's influence finally gives way to true interstellar space. Out there, it was expected to drift in quiet solitude, recording minor fluctuations in solar wind, cosmic rays, and particle densities. Instead, it detected movement. The kind of movement that doesn't happen by chance. It started with a blip, a spike in the plasma wave data. Nothing unusual at first. The instruments are old, after all, and sensitive enough to pick up ghost signals from distant stars. But this one was different. It pulsed. It repeated. It wasn't random noise, it had structure. It was a pattern. Initially, engineers suspected interference or a cosmic ray glitch. Voyager 2 is, after all, nearly 50 years old. But when the signal repeated, and grew stronger, they knew this wasn't just a malfunction. It was a broadcast. When the data was cleaned up and analyzed, something emerged that sent a ripple of disbelief through the scientific community. An object, about 500,000 kilometers from the probe, was moving fast. Faster than any known object in that region. It wasn't part of any asteroid belt, no rogue planet, no expected comet. And it wasn't drifting randomly, it was tracking. The object was mimicking Voyager's trajectory. Imagine a predator in the void, stalking silently in the wake of its prey. Adjusting its speed. Staying just out of reach. Watching. NASA wasn't the only one alarmed. Independent astronomers, military observatories, and deep space trackers around the world were pulled into the investigation. The verdict was unanimous: it wasn't a glitch. The plasma readings, magnetic field distortions, even faint variations in the probe's gyroscopic data all confirmed it. Voyager 2 had company. But the most terrifying detail wasn't the object itself, it was the signal it brought with it. Alongside the usual telemetry, Voyager 2 had transmitted a strange burst of radio frequency. Something the probe was never programmed to send. Inside that burst was a packet of digital data, binary strings that, when plotted visually, formed deliberate, geometric patterns. Not natural waves. Not noise. Glyphs. Some saw echoes of crop circle symbology. Others compared them to ancient human symbols, spirals, recursive loops, intersections. Not chaos. Design. Linguists and astrophysicists ran the data through contextual analysis. The results were unsettling. The structure of the transmission mirrored what we would expect from an intentional message, not one sent by Voyager, but one embedded within its transmission stream. Hijacked. Or hidden. Was it a warning? A message? A test? We couldn't say for sure. But one thing was clear: Voyager 2 wasn't alone out there. And whatever had found it, had noticed us back. Some called it proof. Evidence that we're not alone in the universe. Others feared something darker, a surveillance probe. A scout. A prelude. What made this even more chilling was the timing. Months earlier, Voyager 1 had experienced a similar anomaly, a brief distortion in its data stream. It had been written off as static interference. But now, under renewed scrutiny, that event looked less like a coincidence and more like a first encounter. Two probes. Decades apart. Same region of space. Same phenomenon. Was something lying in wait? Was this intentional? Further analysis deepened the mystery. The unidentified object didn't behave like any natural body. Its trajectory didn't follow gravitational arcs. Instead, it moved unnaturally, as if warping space itself to hide its presence. Simulations failed to reproduce its path using known physics. And still, it followed. The object accelerated and decelerated at will. It hovered just beyond detection thresholds. Worse still, it seemed to react to Voyager's transmissions. Not proactively, but responsively. Watching. Learning. Adapting. Then came another signal. The Deep Space Network began receiving unfiltered electromagnetic readings, frequencies oscillating in patterns never recorded before. At first, scientists thought it was background radiation or interference. But then, they enhanced the waveform. What emerged was mathematically precise. A frequency structure that mirrored the base harmonics of hydrogen, the universe's most abundant element, but inverted. A deliberate alteration. The message wasn't just sound, it was structured information. A form of communication. In NASA's archives, an intern unearthed decades-old telemetry from Voyager 1. When compared, the distortion from the 1980s matched the new anomaly almost perfectly. This wasn't the first time something had reached out. And perhaps, it wouldn't be the last. Simulations showed that the object didn't drift passively. It didn't follow any path we'd recognize. Its course bent space-time in unnatural ways. Some likened it to warp fields described in theoretical physics, Alcubierre drives that could fold space instead of flying through it. One internal leak from a JPL engineer suggested that the electromagnetic field disturbances Voyager recorded resembled toroidal energy distortions, the kind that could only be created by an advanced propulsion system. Had Voyager stumbled onto something ancient? Or something waiting? Back on Earth, the mystery deepened. Radio telescopes in Chile, Australia, and South Africa began picking up faint echoes, repeating distortions that matched Voyager's data. These phantom pulses mirrored the probe's communication delay times. As if something was responding in real time across vast distances. The pulses weren't just similar. They were synchronized. Triangulation failed. The source couldn't be located. But the implication was terrifying. Whatever this was, it had the power to project its signal across multiple points in space at once. Intelligence wasn't just likely, it was certain. And now, the question wasn't what is it, but why now? Voyager 2 had been drifting silently for nearly 50 years. So why now, at the very moment Earth develops advanced AI, quantum computing, and deep decoding algorithms? Why does this signal come now? Was this a coincidence, or an invitation? Some believed the anomaly wasn't reacting to Voyager at all, but to Earth. To us. It had been watching. Waiting. And when we became capable of understanding its message, it finally spoke. Governments imposed quiet media blackouts. Observatories were shuttered. Researchers pulled from their projects without warning. Behind closed doors, a darker question loomed. Did Voyager 2 make contact, or did it awaken something? In the end, Voyager 2 is no longer just a messenger from Earth. It has become the harbinger of a truth long buried: we are not alone. We were never alone. The signals, the glyphs, the object, none of it fits within the frameworks of known science. Something is out there. Not billions of light years away, but lurking in the dark edges of our own solar system. Watching. Waiting. Choosing its moment. And the most unsettling truth? It responded now. Not when Voyager launched. Not when it passed Pluto. But now, when we finally have the tools to understand it. The question is no longer are we alone? The real question is, what have we just woken up? Stay alert. This story isn't over. And the next signal? It may not just change what we know about the universe. It may change what it means to be human.